Okay, so the best way to do these hooks on a focus mitt, I'll explain why on the heavy bag, but essentially the lead hand jab, you throw in the lead hand hook, should say, I like to throw it after a jab to get the guy to close his guard up. So I'll jab and then hook, and I'm rolling this over so the one knuckle is hitting, my favorite is the jaw, but you can also hit the ear, go as high as the temple. You want to stay away from the brain case. That's a hard piece of bone. And if you hit, especially the farther forward you hit on the jaw, the more likely you are to spin his head and get a knockout or at least a good stun. So it's jab and then hit, and that hit you want to step so you're slightly out of his range by the time you stop and have a chance to turn back. It gives you a little bit of breather space. Instead of throwing the hook here and you're recovering inside his range, what you want to do is throw the jab and then throw the hook, and you're offline, so that if something happens, at least you have a little chance to reset yourself. Another reason why you turn the arm over, you're not exposing your pulse side, the more delicate side of your form. Regular sport boxing hook, you're throwing with the thumb up. Again, we don't have gloves on, we don't have wrist wraps on, and the guy may have a knife, so we don't want to come in leading with our, arteries and nerves and etc. If you do get cut, it's better to get cut in the back of the arm. Also, a little thing is you're also hiding the radial nerve to a certain extent. So if you hit, if you essentially form bone him, he blocks. You basically clothesline him with the top of the form at that corner angle, rather than hitting into with the pulse or with the radial nerve on the top of the radial bone here. This is empty hand, street fighting, no gloves on. So the rules are a little different. So let's switch sides. You can see a little better maybe. So his guard is up. I'm throwing that jab just to get his guard to close, and then that comes around and hits the jawline. So if I do that on the gloves, I'm hitting there, and you notice I step through so that if I miss or he blocks or whatever, he's got to take a little step to reach me. It's not so easy. I'm just outside his range. So it gives me a little more time to react if I screw up or don't get a hit. Then we'll switch gloves, and I'll show you the rear hand hook. Okay, position for the rear hand hook. I have my fist, this is a close quarters hook, and I have my fist in line with my elbow with the line of force. I'm actually hitting in a semicircular pattern to go back beyond my shoulder. And what I want to do, let's throw it on the side first. I teach this in the clinch. So we'll put the focus mat actually touching the forehead. We'll show you on this side in a minute. And the guy's guard is up, and I'll just come in and get behind his guard and just dig that knuckle, middle knuckle, finger knuckle into the back of his joint. Pull back, and then come back in on guard. So from this side, you'll be able to see the hit better. So I actually have the guys trained with the mitt right up against the forehead. Hand is here. You're gonna step offline with that lead leg and just clip. So from here, it's almost like playing patty taker. You're slapping the guy, but the elbow comes behind the fist. The fist is at a 45-degree angle. You're hitting with the top two knuckles, but with the fist at a 45, it tends to hook in a little better, especially since we're going at a slight down angle, trying to unhinge that jaw. And again, you can use ear or temple as secondary hits, but I really like that jaw is nice for this. So the guard is up, you hit, and you're coming in so that fist comes under your armpit. You wind up shelling a bit on this is one option to do it. You can also, if you do it more horizontally, you can swing back up for a parry. But I like doing that downward angle. Most punches in Pekiti Tirsia are going slightly up or slightly down, so that gravity is tethering him to the ground. So if you do an upward hit, he doesn't fall away. If you do a downward hit, his legs and his strength in his lower body plants him there, so absorbing more force. My teacher didn't like to go straight in, because that, if it sends him back, you lose some of the damage that could be done moving him. So the guard is up, you're in here, and just come in, and it's almost like you're throwing an elbow and your fist gets in the way, and then you complete the hit. And I'll show you in a minute why we don't do a heavy bag for, especially the lead hand hook. The reason I don't like to use a heavy bag on the lead hand hook is there's a tendency to pull your shoulder too much. If you're stationary, yeah, you can hit this and no problem. But the idea on the lead hand hook, your arm is extended out, And after the hit, you're going to fade away. So you can see how there's a tendency to rip your shoulder or damage your shoulder if you do that. So we prefer to do a lead hand hook on focus mitts. I've seen guys use medicine balls hung from a hook, rope to hit. My speed bag is long gone. You can do it on a speed bag. You're not going to get a lot of resistance out of that though. So basically the focus mitts are if you have a training partner, it's the best way to do it. But if not, use a speed bag or get some kind of ball that's no more than 10 pounds. Hang it off a rope or put it in a bag and work on that.